welcome back for another video. This time I'm out by myself. I've come to a different location. It's just north of Brighton, and the original place I was going to go to was just a bit too, I didn't have any phone signal. I like to have a little bit of phone signal where I go, but yeah, this place is great. Got some signal and it's secluded, it's away from a footpath, and it's quite nice. There's just a few little shaded areas, only a few animals come through this way, so it's perfect. Today's video is going to be about an overview of this thing, my hammock, how I get into a sleeping bag, and it's not going to be such a review of the hammock because there's tons of videos on the reviews on these things, but it's just more a case of the overview of this particular one, and if there are any, there might be some upgrades to it, which I think there is a few already, which I'll cover later on in the video. But for now, this is just the location where I am. We're down a little bit of a recess here, and it's nice and flat, this whole area, which is quite nice. Quite an ideal spot for a wild camper, I think, which hopefully we'll be doing my missus later on at some point, which will be nice. And I've got some great views, which I'll show you through the canopy here. Lots of hawthorn around, and that's the view through the trees. Spectacular. Right, I just wanted to do a little a little overview of the of this hammock, and it's a great little hammock. It's cheap. It's not like, hasn't got a brand name as such, and I think it comes in like 3 different styles. You got this, which is like a Flectarn digi camo, and you've got khaki, I think it is, and a green, something like that. And it's just a great bit of kit, and I just wanted to sort of not do a review, but just an overview, and just to show you what you get when you get one of these. So we'll start over this side. These are the straps that you get. They're like a seatbelt type material, and you get about 2 or 3 meters worth of that, and that's ample enough to go around a small tree like this one. That hooks into these types of carabiners. Now I have noticed that it has actually bent it out of shape, and it's moved it up or down, or it's bent it forwards. So that's something that I'm going to have to get new ones of. Don't think it's moved anymore, but there's always that chance that it could just bend and that'd be it. I'll be on my back, so I'd rather that. I'd rather not that. So new carabiners there. Got some of this nylon type rope, which is, I'd say, strong enough really. I don't see any signs of wear, maybe over time, but strong enough, and that goes through to a loop here, which all seems quite strong there. I don't see any movement. Stitching seems okay. I don't think there's any tearing or anything. That's just loose stitch there, but I think overall that's fine, that area. And you got this bug netting that goes around it, and it zips up. I've ripped it a little here, but that was just where I was getting in, and it's not caused any problems at all, so that's fine, that end. And then that goes all the way down to the bottom, obviously. Single layer, single skin. But it's nice strong material, a bit like that sort of ripstop nylon really, I guess. That's the digi camo style. I've got that just to go with the Flectarn of what I wear already. Ample space in there for a sleeping bag, so you can see. Just bring it up to the head end. But there's enough room in there for a sleeping bag, and comes up quite wide. So there's a quite big bucket that you can sit in there. That'll be quite comfortable. And it's obviously the same at the other end. Folds down and squashes all down into its own stuff sack, which is on the outside of the actual hammock. I think I'd preferred it on the inside, but it's okay, there it is. And with it you get a bunch of paracord which is okay. I haven't used it yet, but that's for the bug netting as it goes over the top. The bug netting goes over like this and picks up to there, and you can put 2 pieces of wood between there. A couple of sticks will be fine, and then there's 3 that run down, and then there's enough space above to put a tarp. I need to get a bigger tarp, so, but yeah, I think that's a very good price. It's I think it's like $11.99 on eBay. There's a few people that list them, but it's well worth just checking them out. I'll put a link to the one I've done in the description below, but I wouldn't say that this is something that you could use like for a long periods of time. I think after a while it'll probably just sort of give up a little bit, but for a few overnighters and things like that in the woods, I think you're perfectly fine. Especially for kids. It's a great one for kids to have a mess about in a garden, or even if you take them camping somewhere for a weekend that has a bit of a wooded area and they want to hang about in a tree for the day, you know. I use it as a seat as well, so I'm off the ground and I'm not sitting on the ground. I've got a bad back, and I've had it for years now. And when the ground was cold and it was damp, getting up off the ground every time it was just getting to the point now I was having to think of getting a seat to sit on, and a hammock seemed a better option than none. So a hammock is a much better choice, I think. It's comfortable, I'm off the ground, and it's warm as well, and it supports my back, which is great. So that's the overview. It's kind of beautiful, but you can't see on camera, but I've got these little tiny birds. Not sure what they are, tree climbers maybe. About as big as a mouse. Just grab it. They've all come to have a look at me hanging in my hammock. Probably can't catch it on the camera, but I'm not alone. Do you remember that bird of prey on there? It's frightened all the little birdies off. It's coming from about down there somewhere. Through that way. See, having the hammock is great because you sit here and it's just so quiet. You know, when you sit on the ground, you're a bit noisier, I think. You sit on a tarp or whatever and it's all ground sheet and you're just rattling all the time. But when you sit in a hammock, it's so quiet and peaceful and you just sit there and swing, you know? And the birds aren't so bothered by it because you are just laying still. It's gorgeous. And I've been saying that this hammock is probably one of the best things I've bought for a while. It's nice to have a good old swing. You know, I thought I would get in this thing. I thought I'd end up falling out the bloody thing, or falling out the tree, or you know, whatever. But
earlier when I got in it, you'll see that I got in and the strap sort of twitched and just fell down an inch or two over that side. But it literally just moved, but it just settled into a comfortable position, I guess. But they're so easy to get in and out of. Absolute bliss. Thoroughly recommend getting one of these if you don't want to spend like the 200-300 quid's worth on the DD, because you know you might not use it as much. It's worth getting one of these. Perfect. Take it off and just show you how easy it is to stuff the bag. We've got the actual webbing straps there, but they're a bit damp from being on the moss on the tree itself, so it's a little bit, I don't want to stuff it back in with the hammock so they get wet, so they'll go separately. But when they're dry they just go neatly in here. So what I found is that I've got both the corners of the carabiners, and the stuff sack sits in the middle of the hammock on one side. So how I found out is getting it easier around just to get a corner on one side and on the other, stuff it in, stuff that in, turn it upside down, and just keep bundling it in bit by bit, like this. That's the bottom end, and eventually it will start sitting in its own pack. See there, it's getting in there quite nice. Tried to do it some other ways, but it didn't go in very well if it was just sort of being stuffed straight in without any sort of like organised sort of way or anything like that. But that sits in there perfectly, like that. The cord sits on top. And if you had, obviously the webbing straps when they're dry, you can just fold them up to about this long. And they sit inside perfectly, and then you pull the drawstring nice and tight, and that sits perfectly there. I did have a toggle for this, but I lost it somehow. I think I lost it on the last video, so but yeah, this is perfect. It sits in there. It weighs just under a kilo, something like that, so it's perfect for your bag. It's not too heavy at all. Good old hammock. I'll put all the link and whatnot in the descriptions below if you're interested in getting one. But just perfect, good size.
This is where the ground sheet was, and the hammock's on from that tree, And now I'm going to leave this place and make my way back up the hill there and find the path, because I can't remember where I've left it. All in all, it's been an awesome little day camp. Really enjoyed this one. Great to have some hang time in the hammock again, and just getting closer to that first wild camp, which I know I keep banging on about, but I just like to take my time. I've got a young family, and spending nights out isn't easy for me, so but the day will come, I can assure you of that. And I just want to be able to experience them with my wife, and because that's where we all first started. That's where we both started, well, doing the first wild camping before YouTube sort of took it all off quite a few years ago. So I just want to experience that with my wife, as you know, Kathy from the videos previous. But yeah, it's been a great camp, great afternoon, great day that I spent out. Here's to the next video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
To burn a very